All right, man. It's all kinds of craziness going on over here. I am trying something I've never done before. So bear with me as I go through a new experience, but stay committed to my commitment to some consistency. I want to show you something, just doing something that you're not accustomed to. Don't come in. Doing something that you're not accustomed to over an extended period of time is how you build a new habit. And I have to admit, my engagement on both YouTube and Instagram got a lot of content that I put out, but seldom do I engage live. My mentor gave us a challenge to do something that you're uncomfortable with for 30 days. Well, 26 is the actual number. And again, this is my second time going live on Instagram. I'm excited about the process of figuring out how all of this works together, but I plan to teach. I don't have anything to sell you, and I'm coming to you much later than is my normal. So don't get used to me being online live at 11:28. It's just been an amazing day, but I look back at my end of day and ask myself, do you want to be consistent to your commitment, or do you want to lay off, take a break, and come back and do it tomorrow? Commit. So I want to show myself some consistency. So if you're just hearing about this challenge for the first time, here's what I'm going to do. I'm walking through the alphabet of money and mindset to teach a different vocabulary for personal finance. Because here's my reality. Hey, mom, good to see you. Now, I believe that is Morgan. But as we go through this process, I just want to make sure that in our conversation, we take the time to learn the words, because they say ABC easy is 1, 2, 3. That's how they taught us to speak the language of English, but also in an improbable way taught us not to understand the language of money and the finance. And I want to break down some things. So if you're listening today, the good news is it's only day 2. Yesterday was day 1, where I started with foundation. Attitude, abundance, taking action, and affirming our ability to acquire assets. What's an asset? An asset is a thing that puts money in your pocket. I always want to keep my terminology simple enough that somebody hearing it, not knowing that that's where we are, can still apply that principle to their lives and think about, well, what things can I buy that are assets that make me money? So as I jump into letter B, I'm only on day 2, and I'm glad I did not. Anybody ever, find yourself on a goal, on a mission, making a commitment and thinking, oh, nobody will notice if I don't do it today. You know who will notice if you don't do it today? You. So day 2, letter B. And B ends up being one of those fundamental concepts when it comes to the mindset that makes money. By the way, I'm one of those people that teaches. By the way, money's a concept. Money's made in our minds first before it ever manifests in our pockets. So when it comes to B, the most important word in the financial game is belief. What do you believe? What do you believe about you, about what you're entitled to, about who you are here to be, who you're here to serve? And the great thing about the word belief is that it's actually broken down into 2 parts. I'm into etymology. Etymology is just the study of words. First part of the word be, by the way, I don't have a script. This is not written. So I'm thinking about the things that I talk about as we go through and making sure to tie the concepts together. But B-E-L-I-F. Be lie. Most of us lie to ourselves about our beliefs. I just tell you that up front when it comes to money. I'm in the South, so I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. A lot of fundamental Christian beliefs down here and misinterpretations of what's scriptural, meaning there are a lot of people that believe that money is the root of all evil. That's not even biblical. Biblical is also a B word. We're doing all B's today as I think of them. But what's in the Bible is that the love of money is the root of all evil. Said you're not supposed to love money, but you're not supposed to hate it so much that you give it away to your enemy. B. So first thing I say is B. We are human beings. not human doings, not human thinkings. We're human beings. Be the type of person that believes that abundance, that joy, that health, that wealth is your birthright. Our fundamental beliefs, some of them have to be examined, some of them have to be challenged, and some of them have to be eliminated for us to ever move from the place where the relationship we have with money puts us in a place to manifest it. So be the type of person that believes in your ability to build. That's my second word. Build it. Build it. Because there's two ways that you can acquire an asset. You can buy an asset or you can build an asset. But here's what I understand. When you build a thing, you know what went into its construction. You know where it evolved from, and you know what to anticipate as it grows into its next level. TD Jakes has a great sermon. As a matter of fact, if you Google TD Jakes build it, he said, if you want a great business, you got to build it. If you want great credit, you got to build it. If you want to have a church, you got to build it. Don't be over here waiting for me to die so you can be pastor. I'm not a preacher. I just like that particular message because he's absolutely right. It's in that process of learning how to build and construct a new thing that we're able to understand and construct new results. Because there's two ways that you're going to acquire an asset. You can build it or you can buy it. But either way, we're taking that process of manifesting the idea that what we buy has to be able to buy our next thing. Put that in your notes. Build or buy assets. We have a philosophy. When I get to the letter C, I'll talk about cash, asset, cash. But for now, just understand that building or buying assets is the path to financial freedom. Now, we talked about being, believing, and building. But I also want to talk about budgeting. Yeah, I know it's not a sexy word. It's not even an 11:30 Eastern time concept, but a budget will change your life. See, if you take the time to spend every dollar on paper before you let it evaporate into the atmosphere, you'll find that a budget is how you tell your money where to go before you wonder where it went. Now, when we get later on in this series, I'll teach a concept called zero-based budgeting, where you start at the top with the amount of money that's coming in, but understand the things that come out. Now, here's a fundamental, I'll tell you my honest to God truth was I was bad at budgeting. When I first started my career, I thought that my check when it came in was supposed to take care of everything that was necessary, some of the things I wanted, and then I would save what's left. But you know what was left for me most of the time? Nothing. Because here's the habit of human beings. We're the one creature in all of God's creation where the things that we want become the things that we need. I'll say that again. We're the one creature in nature where the things that we want become the things that we need. And we find out, anybody ever been in a place where you bought something, you had to have, or is that just me? But a budget gives you the discipline to structure and direct your funds into an allotment so that a portion of all that you earn is yours to keep forever. See, before I knew how to build a budget, when I got paid, my bills got paid. When I got paid, daycare got paid, McDonald's got paid, but there was very little left to pay me. I'm going to teach this concept of pay yourself first, because position where you're in control of money versus having money in control of you. So we talked about belief. We talked about being the type of person, and we talked about budgets. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to get off because this is, if push subscribe so that you'll know when I go live. But if I ever go live this late again, call me early and say, Richard, you know you get up at 5. You can't go live at 11:30. Banks. Banks. I didn't understand what a bank was growing up. They told me that if you had money in the bank, that you were creating success. Let me tell you, a bank is a business. You know what a bank's business is? A bank's business is loaning money. Whose money do they loan? Our money. Now, I didn't know this. I really, once I stopped and started to understand the process, I can remember back to when I started banking. And this will age me a little bit. So y'all will start judging me. But I remember when you at a savings account, you could get 3% at Georgia Federal. That's where I had my first savings account. I had a 3% interest rate on money that I put in the bank. They paid me for holding on to my money. But if you think right now, if you look at your bank statement for any of the banks that have the biggest building in the, those are B words, write that down, take those in your notes. The biggest building in the city where you live, they're paying less than 0.5% on money. But that's also B. But they are charging 6%, 12%, 33% because banks take our money and they loan it as credit cards, mortgages, student loans. All of the products that banks sell aren't actually their money. It's our money that they're leveraging. They go out and make 30% and pay us pennies on the dollar. No, halves of pennies. 0.5% is an insult, but that's what they do. Do you know that you can be your own bank? There's a concept. I want you to look it up. I don't have to sell you the concept. If people were taught that that the idea of infinite banking existed where you could be your own bank. Yeah, you can. There's a class of investment vehicles that the wealthy have used for the last 6 decades. We're talking about back to the late 1900s. But most of us weren't taught about this asset class because it wasn't in favor of the bank. I mean, if you could be your own bank or you could give your money to the bank and they could make money on your bank, what do you think they teach? And that's what they taught us. Be your own bank. Here's a concept. What if you could put your money into a vehicle where when the market went up, the value of your account went up. When the market went down, you didn't lose any money. And you could do the same process because you know that the bank loans your money in place. Here's a test. I want you just one day for giggles. Try to go and withdraw $10,000 cash from your bank. Do you know most banks in most metropolitan areas don't have $10,000 cash in the vault? A weekend run. How many of you seen an ATM machine run out of money? It happens all the time here in Atlanta. But it's because as soon as your money goes into the bank, the Federal Reserve allows a bank to loan 12 times the dollars that you have in the bank to other people. They get to make a profit, turn it around. The process is legal for them. It's called arbitrage. Arbitrage is an A word. I probably should have talked about it yesterday. They make a profit and we get to be in a position where we've not built anything different. Last thing I'm going to get out of here because it's well past the time that I should ever be live. Everybody put in the note, Richard, go live earlier. You're not a late night person. Matter of fact, help me out. Let me know when you're hearing this, if you're live or you're catching it on replay and where you're tapping in from. But the last idea and the most important asset you can ever add to your portfolio is a business. This is the thing that I had to resolve for myself is that America, especially our tax code, is built to the advantage of the business owner. And because of the person that structured our tax laws from 2016 to 2020, I'm not going to say his name, but he was the 45th president of the United States. He was a businessman and he built business benefits into the tax code. If the country ever wants to wants you to do anything, they give you business benefits for doing it. Tax code for employees is you pay taxes off the top up front, no negotiation. The tax code for business income. So if you think about the 3 asset classes, income classes, employees, business owners, and investors. Employees pay the highest tax, they pay it first, and they have no choice. Business owners pay the middle of tax, but they get the benefit of being able to work and grow their business, write off all their deductions, and pay taxes on what's left. What you find, you keep. And investors pay the least in income, but they also do the least work. It's just the way our society is built. It's not that when they say the rich get richer, it's designed to work that way. We just have to figure out ways to be the type of people that build our own businesses and become our own banks so that we can have the belief that we were bred to do more than work, pay bills, and die. Man, that's what I'm talking about today. That's my conversation for today. I wanted to be consistent to these audiences that I don't necessarily address live as much, but I put content out on a daily basis. And over the course of this conversation, if this makes sense to you, share it. Share it with people that you know so that as we build our vocabulary, we build the language of money in our lives, we're in a position to help people do different things and to be the type of people that build businesses, become their own banks, and build assets that pay us rather than us being the people that go to someone else's business, hoping, begging, and wishing to get paid. Man, that's Thursday, day 2. This one almost got me. I will never again. I commit 26 days. We're going to teach this language and vocabulary, the mindset to make the money and have the money make more money. I'm going to sign off. Well, I'm going to figure out how to sign off because I'm still new to being live on Instagram. And we're going to figure out how to help everybody that wants to be a participant in the movement. If you like this, share it, like it, comment, send it to the people around you. But also let me know what things you want to learn about, because from A to Z, you'll get an encyclopedic reference. Just click subscribe or like. Let them know when I'm going live, and we're going to cover this 26 days. This is day 2. Happy Black History Month. All right. Talk to you soon. Wait, let me see. I don't even know how to get off live. Let's see if this works. There we go. That's one.